Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Triple H has been in charge of WWE creative for the past few years. However, wrestling veteran Jonathan Coachman recently predicted that a plan to remove the game from his position is already in motion. Coachman previously disclosed that he believes that TKO board member The Rock and Triple H legitimately hate each other. He recently claimed on the Behind the Turnbuckle, The Last Word podcast that the final boss has deliberately missed WrestleMania 41 to prove a point that the game cannot book the show and needs to be replaced with Brian Gewirtz. Meanwhile, the former interim Raw general manager revealed that he thinks The Rock already has a plan in motion to replace WWE CCO Triple H with former Raw head writer Brian Gewirtz, who is currently his right-hand man at his $7 production. For people who don't know, the former head writer of Monday Night Raw at the peak after Vince Russo was Brian Gewirtz. Who does Brian work for now as a full-time right-hand man at $7 production? The Rock. And if Rock came in and said, "Hey, I want Brian to run the show, and I want Brian to write the show," and Triple H said, "No, no, no. I run that show," well, all of a sudden now you've got this clash. So, how do you get Brian into that spot? You get rid of Triple H, and I think that's exactly what's going on, he said. 1844 to 1913. Ex-WWE writer thinks TKO will eventually drop Triple H like a hot potato. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo has been vocal about his belief that Triple H would be out of the Stamford-based company by the end of this year. On an episode of his Before My Head Explodes podcast, the wrestling veteran predicted that TKO would eventually make The Rock an offer he could not refuse. Russo added that the company would drop Triple H like a hot potato when that day comes. You know, Rock is still box office, but here's the thing, man, Rock isn't always going to be box office. And, you know, Rock is going to get older. And Rock is going to lose some of his appeal. And there is going to be a time when Rock is going to be offered a deal that he cannot refuse. And I gotta tell you something, man, when that day comes, they are going to drop Triple H like a hot potato, he said. Russo recently claimed Karrion Kross should have called out Triple H for his booking last night on Raw. The WWE star recently voiced his discontent with his status in the promotion. In a stunning revelation that's beginning to shake the very foundation of WWE's corporate structure, a plan to remove Paul Triple H Levesque from his position as WWE's chief content officer after WrestleMania is reportedly in motion. What's more shocking is the name being floated as his possible replacement, an ex-WWE star whose return would signal a seismic shift in the creative direction of the company. This isn't just idle locker room chatter. Wrestling veteran and former WWE insider Dutch Mantel recently lit the fuse on this explosive rumor during an appearance on his podcast Wrestling Real Talk. "I've heard some noise backstage," Mantel said gravely. "There's a movement, quiet, but building, to sideline Triple H creatively after WrestleMania 41. It's not personal. It's political. And the name they want to bring in is someone who already knows the system inside and out. It's Shane McMahon." Backroom politics and tensions rising. The supposed plan to oust Triple H is said to be rooted in recent backstage frustrations over his handling of certain high-profile stars, the pacing of storylines, and the shift toward a more serious wrestling product that, while acclaimed by many longtime fans, has seen mixed results with casual viewers and advertisers. According to sources close to the situation, Endeavor executives, keen on maximizing WWE's crossover appeal and synergy with Hollywood properties, have grown uneasy with Triple H's gritty sports-based direction. They reportedly favor a more spectacle-driven presentation, reminiscent of WWE's 2000s Golden Age, with broader character appeal and viral potential. This creative friction, coupled with an alleged divide between Triple H loyalists and Endeavor's new brass, has created an atmosphere ripe for upheaval. WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas is now seen as a pivot point. If it delivers record numbers, the plan may be postponed. But if it underwhelms? The wheels are already greased. The Shane McMahon factor. The most intriguing and controversial aspect of this story lies in the proposed successor, Shane McMahon. Shane's history with WWE has been turbulent at best. After leaving the company in 2009 and returning in 2016, his recent runs have been met with mixed reactions. His last major appearance, at WrestleMania 39 where he suffered a freak injury during an impromptu match, left fans concerned about his in-ring future. But backstage? That's a different story. Mantel elaborated, "Shane's got a rep. Say what you want about his ego, but he understands TV production, marketing, and how to make a moment. He's flashy, unpredictable, and he brings with him the McMahon legacy that some still say is essential to WWE's identity. I don't think they want Shane to wrestle anymore, but as a creative head? It's being floated seriously. While Shane McMahon has had friction with both his father Vince and Triple H in the past, sources suggest he has maintained strong relationships with some corporate figures now influencing Endeavor's WWE strategy. Shane's vision reportedly involves revamping WWE's third hour of Raw, retooling NXT into a hybrid reality-based show, and creating surprise moments every week, akin to the Attitude Era's shock value. What this means for Triple H. If the rumors are true, Triple H may be facing his toughest opponent yet, not Brock Lesnar, not the corporate chaos of 2022, but internal politics. Fans have largely praised his creative leadership since taking over from Vince McMahon, particularly the revitalization of storylines, the careful use of returns, like CM Punk and Randy Orton, and his long-term booking mindset. He's been the best thing about WWE in years, said wrestling columnist Raquel Morgan. If they fire Triple H after all he's done, the fans will riot. But the word fire might be misleading. Sources believe the plan isn't to terminate Triple H, but to reassign him, perhaps to a more corporate, less hands-on role, with Shane McMahon or another figure assuming day-to-day creative control. This allows Endeavor to claim continuity while quietly shifting the company's tone and focus. Fan and talent reaction. As the rumors begin to swirl, fans have taken to social media in droves. Hashtags like #KeepTriple and #WeWantHunter trended briefly following Mantel's podcast. Some wrestlers, speaking anonymously, have expressed concern that losing Triple H could undo all the creative goodwill built over the last 2 years. He listens, one rising star said. He's not just thinking about ratings, he's thinking about us, about how to make our characters work long-term. Replacing that with a guy like Shane, who's got a different mindset entirely. That's scary. Still, there are others backstage who are reportedly open to change. A few veterans, especially those who thrived under Vince McMahon's original formula, see Shane's return as a chance to bring back some excitement and chaos. The WrestleMania 41 deadline. Everything now hinges on WrestleMania 41. Triple H is reportedly aware of the murmurs but has chosen to focus on delivering a card that's unforgettable, according to close allies. Rumored matches include Cody Rhodes vs. CM Punk, Rhea Ripley vs. Jade Cargill, and a Roman Reigns redemption arc that could either culminate or collapse. A home run in Las Vegas could force Endeavor to reconsider any shakeup, especially if media coverage and streaming numbers break records. But a lukewarm or botched show, especially if injuries or fan backlash emerge, could give the power players all the ammunition they need to make their move. Looking ahead. Whether Shane McMahon is truly being considered or this is merely a political ploy to shift creative influence, one thing is clear, WWE is at a crossroads. As the company continues to evolve in the Endeavor era, nothing, and no one, is untouchable. Triple H may have survived hostile takeovers, creative wars, and the weight of legacy. But as WrestleMania looms large on the horizon, the King of Kings may find himself playing the game one final time, with everything on the line. Because in WWE, even power isn't forever. Triple H promises industry-shaking conclusion at WWE WrestleMania 41. WWE Hall of Famer Triple H had a lot to say about WrestleMania 41 Night 2 after delivering a stellar show on Saturday. Today, the game promised an industry-shaking conclusion when John Cena goes head-to-head against Cody Rhodes. Earlier this year, John Cena shocked the world when he turned heel and sold his soul to The Rock. A moment like this will be remembered forever, as it changed the landscape of the product heading into WrestleMania 41. In an exclusive with Peter Rosenberg on Countdown to WrestleMania 41 Sunday, Triple H promised that an industry-shaking conclusion is planned for the upcoming title match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. While he didn't reveal much, he guaranteed the moment will be talked about by the fans for decades. It has to emotionally deliver moments that you maybe thought you'd never see. There will be moments within this match that will be created for the next 10 to 15 years. People will be talking about, "I was there the night when this happened between Cody Rhodes and John Cena," Levesque said. It'll be interesting to see what the game has in mind for the fans to close Night 2 of WrestleMania 41. The WWE Universe was sent into a frenzy after Chief Content Officer Triple H made a bold declaration during the final press conference ahead of WrestleMania 41, one that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. This year's WrestleMania won't just end a story, "It will reshape everything you know about this business," Triple H declared, his eyes blazing with intensity. "And when the final bell rings on night 2, WWE will never be the same again." Held at the Grand Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, the two-night extravaganza already boasted an electrifying card: Cody Rhodes vs. Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Rhea Ripley defending against a mystery opponent handpicked by Triple H himself, and the return of CM Punk in his long-awaited match against Seth Rollins. But now, with Hunter's cryptic tease, every storyline suddenly felt like a powder keg waiting to explode. The promise. Triple H's words weren't made in passing. He doubled down during an appearance on the bump, emphasizing that the conclusion of WrestleMania 41 would shake the very foundation of the industry, not just WWE, but everything from it to NJPW. Fans immediately speculated about everything from major returns to shocking heel turns, company crossovers, and even a potential ownership change. But those closest to the situation remain tight-lipped. "There are only 5 people on this planet who know the real ending," said Michael Cole. "And none of them are talking." Night 1 clues. WrestleMania 41 Night 1 brought its share of surprises. Gunther's dominant Intercontinental Championship reign finally ended at the hands of Braun Breaker, ushering in a new generation. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill won the women's tag team titles in a hard-fought match against Damage Control. And in the main event, Seth Rollins barely survived a brutal war against CM Punk, only to be laid out by a returning Randy Orton. But as shocking as those moments were, it was a simple video package that aired during the final minutes that had fans buzzing. A smoky room, a throne wrapped in chains, and a shadowed figure whispering, "WrestleMania ends with the truth." Triple H wasn't lying, something massive was coming. Night 2, a cinematic storm. Night 2 opened with Paul Heyman pacing backstage, visibly nervous. He refused interviews and snapped at crew members. "It's bigger than Roman," he muttered, hands trembling. "Bigger than me. Bigger than all of us." As the night progressed, tension rose. Charlotte Flair defeated Bayley to win her 16th title, tying her legendary father's record. LA Knight won the Money in the Bank briefcase. And in a surprise announcement, The Rock was set to present the winner of the main event. The stage was set. Roman Reigns vs. Cody Rhodes. No interference. No bloodline. Just 2 men and a legacy on the line. The match that changed everything. For 40 minutes, Reigns and Rhodes delivered a match worthy of the grandest stage. Counters, false finishes, tables, spears, crossroads, every moment felt like it could be the end. And then it happened. After 3 crossroads in succession, Cody covered Roman. 1, 2, 3. The stadium erupted. Cody Rhodes had finally finished his story. Tears streamed down his face as he hoisted the title. Confetti fell. Brandy Rhodes joined him in the ring. The Rock stepped out with a championship belt. But instead of raising Cody's hand, The Rock whispered something to him, and then dropped the belt at Cody's feet. Triple H's final card. The lights went black. A spotlight hit the ramp, and Triple H walked out in a suit, no music, no smile. He took a mic and said simply, "I told you everything would change." Suddenly, a new theme hit. It wasn't Roman's. It wasn't Cody's. It was a theme no WWE crowd had ever heard before. From the crowd emerged a figure in a hoodie, flanked by a group of masked men. Cameras struggled to catch them as they entered the ring. Cody stood ready, but the figure removed his hood. It was Jacob Fatu. The Samoan werewolf had arrived. Behind him stood Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Zilla Fatu, real-life bloodline family members. They attacked Cody mercilessly, beating him down to a chorus of shocked silence. Paul Heyman came down the ramp, clapping. And then Triple H dropped the mic. "Meet the new bloodline. And they don't follow Roman, they answer to me." The wrestling world reacts. In one fell swoop, Triple H had turned heel, aligned himself with a darker, more violent iteration of the bloodline, and possibly severed ties with Roman Reigns entirely. Cody's triumph was erased within minutes. Wrestling legends like Mick Foley and Shawn Michaels took to social media in disbelief. "Never thought I'd see this from Hunter," wrote Foley. President Tony Khan tweeted, "Tonight reminded us why competition is good, but also why we must protect the soul of this industry." Roman Reigns, who hadn't spoken publicly since the event, posted a cryptic message: "If he wants a war, he's got one." Fallout and questions. What does this mean for Cody Rhodes as champion? Was Triple H's move a power play to assert control over WWE's new era? Does Roman Reigns return as a babyface to defend the legacy of the original Bloodline? Fans speculate that the new faction, already being called the True Bloodline, may be the centerpiece of WWE television for the next year. Rumors swirl that this is only phase 1 of Triple H's vision for a more brutal, reality-driven WWE, with cross-promotional appearances and a hybrid sports entertainment model that could change the industry as we know it. In a backstage video captured after the show went off air, Triple H was seen looking at the ring, expression cold, before saying, "This is just the beginning. WrestleMania ended the old world. Welcome to my era." And with that, the wrestling industry, on every level, will never be the same again.